How should we describe the events that occurred in India in 1857? William Dalrymple's view is that while the term mutiny is too narrow, War of Independence is also too wide. Most historians tend to agree that rebellion is suitable, but what actually happened? The British East India Company, formed in 1600, set up outposts in India to trade in textiles and spices for the home market. As their influence grew, they fought a number of battles with the Indians and the French to secure hegemonic power over the subcontinent. This culminated with a British victory at the Battle of Plassey in 1757, which secured the company's monopoly over India. Fast forward 100 years and discontent is growing. Taxes are rising and land rights are being denied to itinerant tribes who turn to banditry in protest. The word thug comes from the Indian Tughi, the name for these bandits, and the Hindi word for deceit. Also, land meant for mosques and temples was being taken for churches, and native peoples were concerned rightly that the British meant to convert them to Christianity. Interestingly, as British power increased, so did segregation between the British and the natives. Early on in the East India Company's history, British officers often became Indianised and were moved and influenced by Indian culture, such as the tolerant religious pluralism advocated by the great leader Akbar centuries before. But as the British began to dominate, all of this changed. In 1780, 1 in 3 East India employees married Indian women, while in 1820 this figure dropped to 1 in 7. This growing oppression is the backdrop over which the events of 1857 began. This is the Enfield P53 rifle, and to load it, it required that the user bite the new paper cartridges to release the bullet and gunpowder. The problem was that these new cartridges were greased with beef and pork fat, which of course was hugely offensive to the Hindu and Muslim sepoys who were hired by and fought for the company. This discontent led to a young sepoy officer, Mangal Pandey, who is now a national hero, shooting at his officer and consequently being executed. Gradually, as this news and the discontent spread, sepoys mutinied in Cawnpore, Lucknow, Jhansi and Meerut, among others, with the sepoys of Meerut marching 40 miles to Delhi, the seat of the last Mughal emperor, the ageing Bahadur Shah Zafar II. The revolt spread throughout the city, and Europeans and Christian Indians were slaughtered. The Shah, being emperor only in name, was reluctant at first, but accepted the sepoys' pleas for leadership, and Delhi was secured. Of course, the rebellion was short-lived, as British troops were brought in from the Crimean War and from China, slowly marching on Delhi, killing many along the way. They set up a base outside the city and besieged the city for almost 3 months, while much of that time being heavily on the defensive themselves. At times it seemed like the British might have to withdraw until reinforcements arrived from the Punjab, where Sikhs had no intention of supporting the Mughal emperor. The city was eventually recaptured along with Bahadur Shah, whose sons were immediately killed and himself sent into exile. Many were murdered in retaliation and many executed by cannon, as was Mughal tradition. Similar events occurred across the country. The rebellion lasted over 2 years in total, but reaction was swift, and the East India Company was dismantled by the British government, who took direct control over the subcontinent, and it wouldn't be until 1947, almost 200 years later, that India would finally see independence. If you like these videos and would like to support me making more, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook by clicking the links in the description below. You can like this video and subscribe to the Then and Now channel to see more. And if you're feeling really generous, you can pledge as little as $1 towards the creation of each new video you can click here to find out more. Thank you.